Good morning, everyone. This is BizChicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today is Friday. So, we talk tech on Friday, but we're talking tech in English. I'm so glad you're tuned in. Also, we want to give a shout out to those of you watching on the replay. We want to say hey to the replay gang. We think that we have some really special things for you today, and we hope you'll be encouraged to stay tuned. So, with that, I just want to say good morning to my partner, Miss Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva. I'm Terralina from California Cover Ups, and we're the Biz Chicks. We'll be joined later by Miss Terry Johnson, online everywhere, from New York City, and Dr. Tachi, all the way from Florida. So she's going to be talking media, so stay tuned. In the meantime, let's find out what happened this week in tech history. How you doing, Fran?
I am well. Good morning, everybody. And one of the reasons why I was a little tardy this morning is I was playing with my tech.
Oh,
I was trying to solve a situation that we got going on Saturday.
Oh, yes.
And I was able to figure it out.
All right.
And, because you watch a little YouTube here and there, and you like, okay, what can I do without buying extra equipment?
That is always a winner, because, we're always out to help our customers and our viewers save money.
And so the thing I was looking for, this has something to do with tech. What I was trying to do is be able to take the iPhone and run it into Zoom as a standalone camera.
Oh, okay. And it's working. Okay, we love it.
Right. So you don't have to actually use the webcam that comes with your
laptop
or whatever, because some of the laptops are older or whatever, and so you don't want to have a picture that's kind of like wonky and stuff. With my Mac that I'm using right now, that's not a situation, but what I was trying to do is I'm going to be filming someone else.
Yes.
And I wanted them to not have to be bound to a computer or whatever. They can just speak freely.
Area.
Right. And so it's kind of like a Zoom studio setup. And I was like, okay, what do I need to do with this? And because people were saying, you got to buy this and you got to buy this thing to switch this and do all of that, buy all these little gadgets that take a couple of days from Amazon or wherever they're coming from. I'm like, I got the time.
It's tomorrow.
And I've been working on it for a while trying to figure it out.
Know, but I'm just saying, they were just now telling you the information and the thing is tomorrow, right?
And so you can take your iPhone and go directly in to there's an app for that. And today it's called Camo, if anybody's looking. CAMO, Camo, and it's in the App Store. It allows you to bring, I believe you can use it on your PC as well, but it allows you to take your phone or your iPad and make it one of the devices for any live stream, not just Zoom. So when I clicked on Zoom to pick a camera, my phone would now be the picture. I guess I can demonstrate this, or do you want me to do history? I don't know. I'm having fun. I'm playing with
having fun. And most history, we've heard those before, but okay.
So basically, I can.
While you're doing that, I'm going to be sharing this out to our friends.
Right. So I can take my phone and I can go to the app that says Camo. I guess I could have been doing this on screen too and sharing my screen.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me see. I'm going to switch my cameras, maybe. Camera and mic. Let's see if it shows up. Woo! Okay, you guys are going to be seeing yourself.
Okay.
So this is my camera.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not showing you my messy office.
It's okay.
Okay.
But
We don't
this
got much
is so I can set this up and have it on a, what is it called? I can have it on a tripod.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
You can have a second camera. You can do some different things with this. Thought I was going to flip my screen around and use the other side. But anyway, you can take your camera and put it in here and
Uh-huh.
be able to use it for your webcast or whatever it is that you want. For Zoom, this is good because what I was trying to do is be able to film somebody that's across the room over there.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so there's somebody over there across the room, right?
Okay.
Mhm.
And I can have their mic feed into this camera. I mean, feed into my computer as long and their mic. And I'm working the controls over here, but they're over there talking, and they are the talent sitting at the chair at the studio or on the bike in this case.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, and I was like, oh,
So let me see if I understand. So now, do you have to be at the desktop to do this, or can you said you could use it on your, because you're using your phone as the camera.
right. And I have my controls. I still now have the controls for my desktop to do anything else I want to do. So I can still share screen. I can do everything that I need to do.
Mhm. So let me see if I understand. So basically your phone is acting like a Mevo.
My phone is acting like a camera on the side, anywhere I need it to be.
So I can just, okay, so then I no longer need a Mevo? Oh, to go to Zoom. Okay.
I'm going to Zoom, but this is for live stream purposes. I can set it up over here and just, I wanted it to be able to shoot somebody else
Uh-huh.
using on Zoom or even on whatever this is right here that we got.
StreamYard.
Yeah.
I can now control that and have that person can be. This is for Pastor Anderson. They want it to be away, so
Yeah.
now you can set their phone up over there.
At the church, and then
Right.
and they would still be on StreamYard, but
Yeah.
they'd be streaming through their phone directly to, okay.
Directly to my system or directly to their system or whatever, but they can now be a distance away because I'm literally on a cord. I plug directly into the back of my USB, the back of my, they can,
desktop. Yeah.
right. And Carlos says over here that I do the same thing, but I use my phone wirelessly. And Terry, we push buttons again at the same time, but that's okay. Go ahead and push it. And he's right. There are some that you can do wirelessly, but I want to be hardwired.
For the event. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't want no glitch. I don't want no nothing.
You don't want any surprises, Carlos.
So this was fun. I was like, oh, now I've been up since 4 or so, and I'm writing down stuff and penciling out and like, okay, I want that to go here. And I thought about calling Carlos.
Carlos, he says he's found a better solution. Okay, you can talk to us, Carlos, after the show. We need all the solutions.
But I just needed something quick.
Mm-hmm.
It works on my phone, so I'm gonna reach out to you about the better solution.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So, and you all can reach out to Carlos too, because he's like Mr. Livestream.
Yes.
Oh, you need to get that handle if you don't have it, Carlos. MrLivestream.com or okay. Anyway,
I like that.
Back to my other camera.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And now I'm back at my desk.
Okay.
But I was playing. I was like, I need to be able to do what I want to do, and I didn't want to have to rely on other people to with a DSLR and I was like, I don't have a DSLR, and they were talking about it costs like $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. I'm like, I'm not trying to spend that type of money.
Right.
Oh my goodness. Good morning, TJ. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you ladies doing?
We're over here finding solutions. You know, Francine, someone called me this morning. They said, "What time do you get up?"
Really?
Yes, you know, you got to getting up at 4 is good because you don't have calls coming in,
There's no distractions.
nothing. It's like, oh, I get the whole room to myself. Okay. TJ, is your mic up a little? Can you turn your mic level up a little bit?
Who, me? You can't hear me?
I can hear you, but it's low.
Okay.
It almost sounds like you're in a canyon
All right.
somewhere.
All right. Let me check.
Okay.
I might have the
So,
wrong mic on.
hey, Maureen. So, anyway, I was like, this is very good. I'm having fun. So, now, meanwhile, back at the ranch this week in tech history, there are a couple of things I want to talk about, and I'm going to pick two. One,
Okay.
Microsoft declares tablets are the future.
Okay.
November 12th, 2000. This is long before the iPad came out.
Wow.
Bill Gates demonstrates a functional prototype of a tablet PC. Microsoft claims the tablet PC will represent the next major evolution in PC design and functionality. However, the tablet PC initiative never really takes off, and it isn't until Apple introduces the iPad in 2010 that tablet computing is widely adopted. In the author of this blog's opinion, Microsoft's failure with the tablet PC initiative was threefold. First, they simply tried to adapt Windows, an operating system designed for use with a keyboard and mouse, for use with a touchscreen pen interface. So they tried to mix it all together and Frankenstein it together. Okay. Users never really warmed up to the awkward hybrid interface. Secondly, by their own words, they were incorporating the convenient and intuitive aspects of pencil and paper into the PC experience. Rather than innovating, it appears to me that, this is the author speaking, that Microsoft was moving backwards by trying to graft an older paradigm, pencil and paper, onto a computer. It's one thing to create an app or peripheral that mimics pencil and paper. It's another to base an entire technology initiative around it. Finally, Microsoft left the design of the hardware to their OEM partners, most of whom are not especially well known for innovating designs. Tablet PCs were considered too big, heavy, and expensive. Plus, they required a pen or a stylus that was prone to loss. All of these favors left many tablet PCs collecting dust if they were sold at all. And isn't it interesting that he had the idea?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the reason why he wanted it to have that pencil connection was because the technology was so new. He probably felt the transition would be easier and more familiar, and people would migrate to it if it involved something they were familiar with.
Right. And
something tactile.
I think that's a really good assumption. But he didn't go far enough, or maybe they just didn't.
Who knows? R&D,
they didn't want to go further into it because they again were more software. They were not hardware. TJ, if I'm making that correct, they are not hardware.
I thought they were programmed.
Their mindset was more software, not hardware.
Yeah, right. That's right.
Go ahead.
No, that's right. Go ahead.
Yeah, whereas Apple is more hardware.
They're more concerned about the form factor and, how we interact with it. They wanted it to be intuitive at Apple.
Right. Steve Jobs' focus was always the hardware and how aesthetically it looked, and how
form factor,
piece, right, and how every piece fit together, and then they went and because they were in the beginning, they were getting software from Microsoft and stuff, and then they decided, to do Apple software like the Numbers and Keynote and stuff like that. So they were always design factor, form factor, computers, design that first, and then the software came.
Right.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So, in my last story, the first underground telegraph cable, November 13th, 1851. You heard that right, 1851.
Wow.
Laid by British telegraphic engineer John Watkins Brett and his brother Jacob Brett, the world's first operational underwater telegraph cable opens for business, connecting the English city of Dover to the French city of Calais. The cable was ran at the narrowest point of the English Channel. With this link, communication between London and Paris was made possible.
Oh, my mother used to live in Dover.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay.
Guys, I want you to know we got a couple more comments here about the Microsoft thing from Carlos.
Okay.
Carlos says Apple controls the entire experience, hardware and software, with a technology flow. Microsoft only did software, so no flow.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then he's got another one. He says the
software was not written for the specific hardware it's on.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be a problem.
There you go.
Mm.
Well,
Carlos is too brilliant for his own good.
He's a knowledgeable individual. We have to give it to him.
Yeah, that's live stream.
Oh my goodness. Well, I have an article that I wanted to share with you guys about something called HireCar. I don't know if we've talked about this before. It's HYREcar.com. Have we talked about this before?
I don't think so. I don't remember it.
I don't remember.
Okay, let me type it in the chat. It's a service where you can rent your car out. Because I know times for some of us are different, and we need to generate income.
I think I read something about that. I didn't know the name of the company, but I think I read something about that.
There's a couple of other companies that do that too.
Yeah.
Correct. And this one specifically is orientated toward Uber and Lyft drivers.
Okay.
And also to people who have like used car lots. They've got those cars sitting there. Those cars could be generating income if they were rented. Now you got some cash flow going, you know what I'm saying, while you're maintaining a used car lot. So HireCar is a place where you can register your car, or you can register to rent a car, and they will screen you, etc. And then you are in the flow to rent the car for hours, days, depending on when it's available. So your car might be rented 2-3 times a day. And evidently they have lots that they return these cars to. And when you're a member, you can then access the cars, etc. So I thought this was interesting. I wanted our audience base to know about these things, because I'm always looking for ways for you to increase your revenue streams.
Yeah.
Okay. So you might want to go over there to HireCar and see how this really works. But it is a car sharing service, not a ride share service. Uber is the ride share. So you can car share in order to do a ride share business. Does that make sense? Am I
Yes.
trying to clarify?
It's kind of like the gig car.
Yeah, it's like
It's
my car. So you can do a jitney service.
Yeah. So it's kind of like we have gig car here and in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area, where people can, and this is sponsored by AAA, where you can, they give you a card and you can activate, start the car, do everything you need to do with the little card. or
Mhm.
they do or from an app.
Yes.
You get in the car and you drive it, and then you have to put it back in a certain zone.
This
And
is app based. Yes. Mhm.
yes, but what you're talking about is even better, because I don't know if Gig Car allows you to now go drive for Uber and Lyft.
I don't think so. I don't really know.
But
I,
Hire took it a different step and
mhm.
said, "Hey, you can now, if you want to, you can rent it out for Uber and Lyft. You don't have to actually drive."
And
for Uber
here's
and
the
Lyft.
other thing. Didn't Uber at one point have
Rental
an affiliate thing where they would help you buy a car?
or
So
help
now
you
you bought
rent
the
a car.
car.
I think it was a rental. You could rent a car through Uber. They had
An agreement with a third party.
right, and I think I don't know if they still do that.
Oh, you can also buy a car through these guys. You know, for instance, if I wanted to sell my car, then they would put it up there for one of these drivers to purchase.
Purchase. So this is different because it just changed up the whole vehicle game.
Well,
You're no longer beholden to
a
her.
rental car company
Oh,
or
we not name them? Okay.
mhm.
We are not beholden to the car rental companies.
Well, I think
Right.
the other thing too is it has turned used car lots into rental car companies. So they need to watch out. I would be concerned if I was in the rental car business
And
because it just blew right past that. So now we start with the drivers, then we go to the individuals, right?
right.
Well, your seat is never safe. So this is with,
I like that.
everybody.
I like that.
Your seat is never safe. Obviously, that's kind of like an election type thing, but that's with anything. So you think that, oh, well, we're the only streamers in town. And at one point, Netflix was, for all intents and purposes, the only. And then you had Hulu that came along. You had all these other cable companies that were trying to do skinny bundles to mimic what Netflix was doing. So you're never going to always be the only. Somebody is going to see what you're doing, see that there's money to be made, and try and get in on the action. So, you need to be thinking 2 steps ahead, 3 steps ahead of everybody else, because they're going to catch up or try to catch up to you eventually.
Oh,
I love it.
What that segment made, because this is going to jump into you. Did you know T-Mobile is offering streaming?
I know they're offering TV or something. Is that
right?
Yes.
Okay, so here's my first thought. Do I trust that? Because I depend on you for phone service. I don't know if I want you in the streaming business.
Well, someone said they had the Xfinity phone. They just got into the mobile phone business, and they're really happy, and it's really cheap. I'm like, interesting.
But the streaming game is less about, it's about content, but it's more about connection and connectivity. And if T-Mobile can provide that, then they're in their space to do that. Now, they may not know a damn thing about programming, but this is why smart people will come together and help, and be mutually beneficial. Hopefully they have enlisted some people who actually understand the streaming game, who understand the content game, because they have the network. And that's half of the battle. It's kind of like the same thing with the record industry and radio, right? Once upon a time, the way it was. So radio needed the music to play over the airwaves, but the record industry needed radio just as much, because that's how their artists got wide appeal. So it's kind of a mutually beneficial relationship. So as long as they have somebody on board that are people that are content specialists, they should be okay. This is in their lane.
As long as the diplomacy holds up.
Well, yeah. The moment somebody gets $1.50 more than somebody else, it all falls the hell apart.
Okay.
So we have a new, is it a noun or adjective? Are you going to do a Quibi?
Oh, have you been Quibied?
Quibi is dead.
I can't remember, because I do English.
Oh, wow.
I just don't remember all the rules. So, because Quibi didn't think that through. And so that now they become, I believe it's an adjective, a word that describes something. I don't know. Anyway.
To be, that would. Are you going to? What did you say? Are you going to be a Quibi?
Are you going to do a Quibi?
To do a Quibi is an action. That's a verb.
Verb.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's a verb. Okay, because like when people say I'm going to Google that, that's a verb.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, so
Mhm.
so are you going to Quibi? Are you going to pull a Quibi? Which means you didn't think it through, and you started off, spent a lot of money, and it didn't work, and now you are verb for what not to do.
Well, I don't know, but Carlos is saying this about that. He says T-Mobile is joining what AT&T and Verizon have been doing. Yeah, I got a little ad about TV.
Yeah,
Yes.
TV.
So is that going to cost me more if I'm already a customer?
Okay, so Dr. Tachi and I both use Sling.
Mhm.
It looks like a Sling package.
Ah, same
is.
content.
Correct.
Now, what would make it better if it had live local TV?
And see, that is the whole. Remember, I told you guys about View It a few weeks
Yeah.
ago.
Mhm.
That is, and they're still gathering, but that's live local TV in all sorts of different markets. So that's something to check out for people that are looking for like live local to see if they've signed on board. But what the big thing here is, and I'm sure Carlos understands this, is carriage deals. Simply because a cable provider or a streamer exists in your area does not mean that you, as a local affiliate, need to be carried on that. That's up to you. So if you can't work out a carriage agreement, you could just say, well, we won't be participating. And there's no rules that dictate you must participate on there. So this is why you could be on Sling. And I only have one local channel on Sling. Our NBC affiliate, NBC Miami, is happens to be on there. That's it. Not CBS, not NBC, not CW, not Fox.
Well, there's a couple of streaming services that just do local news. Like, is it Haystack and some? There's just a couple of them, so you don't really have to have this extra service because you want your local news.
Okay,
You don't have an
it
antenna.
was local news. I want the local news. I can get news everywhere. I didn't want the local news. I wanted local programming for what we have here. And would mean carrying the local, whatever they carry on the local 310, 13, 58.
Oh, okay. The basic TV, the
Yeah.
antenna.
Yeah, I know I can go plug it up to an antenna and get it. But if I'm already here, now I got to switch over to the antenna and switch back. And YouTube was taking care of that challenge until they went up to $65 a month.
Oh, I see.
And
Well,
I refused.
well, YouTube was down yesterday for a couple of hours, right? On the 11th. Yeah.
Yeah, it
So the
was.
whole YouTube. Oh, okay, maybe that's why my husband came in. He said, "What's wrong with YouTube? Do we need to pay some?" I'm like, "No, we don't pay for YouTube.
Do we
I don't
need
know
to
what's
pay?
wrong with this."
Well, everybody, I can understand the question.
Sir,
Come in
sir,
with your
you are
hands up.
YouTube's
How much is
He's
it
like,
for
do
the
we have to
content?
pay YouTube?
Sir, you are YouTube's dream. Somebody that thinks they have to
What's
pay
the
that they
pay?
really don't.
I was like, no, we
Girl.
ain't got to sign in and pay for nothing. It's supposed to just be on.
But it has become so common that people just come in with their hands up. Okay. Yes.
Oh, really? Anytime I get money, I'm like, well, don't even make it out to me. Just send it to the mortgage company. Send it to the electric company. There's no need for me to even see it.
Well, I am not a pass-through. My money needs to stop right here in the name of Jesus. I am not in agreement with that.
Do you rebuke that?
Yes, I got plenty of overflow, girl. They may try to nickel and dime me, but they ain't getting all of it.
At least keep the nickels and 2 dimes.
Hey, they get the nickels. I get to keep the 90. Okay, where's Carlos? He's over here saying,
yeah, Locast is a
what is Locast? I've
online.
never heard of that.
Yeah, so I was like, I'm Carlos to see. That's called he's Mr. Livestream. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Locast is a nonprofit cable company online for free cable.
Mm-hmm. We're going there right now. Locastcast.org.
Yep, I'm going over there right now.
Okay.
Carlos, you're making us play with the toys again.
I know, right?
But while we're playing with the toys, let's get on to social media. What you got for us today, TJ?
Okay, so this week in social media,
Mhm.
there's a little bit going on. Let's start with Snapchat, and while you guys were
Oh,
talking,
really?
I was that yeah, Snapchat has a little things going on. Snapchat is not dead. There's a core group of people that
I hope
likes
not,
to
because I
use.
got stock in.
Yeah.
I think you're good. I think you're good.
Thank you. Go ahead. This is good news, TJ. Go ahead.
Well, Snap has been steadily growing, so is the people that aren't paying attention to Snapchat are 35 and off. I'll say 40, maybe 40ish and up. I mean, but anybody below 13 to say 24, they're loving Snapchat because of all of the tools. So I had some stats here that said Snapchat now reaches 90% of all 13 to 24-year-olds. This
90%.
and
Ooh.
they're saying that this is more than Facebook, Instagram, and Messenger combined, and it reaches all 75% of all 13 to 34-year-olds, and on average, more than 4 billion snaps are created every day. So, Snapchat is thriving. It's just that if you're not in that age group, you're not paying attention to it. So, but
Mhm.
but Snapchat is good. So they what Snapchat is doing now, they're allowing creators to publicly display their follower accounts. Now, this goes against the grain of all the other social media apps that are trying. Because remember, Instagram said they were going to hide
Yes,
the
they
follower
did, didn't
account. Yeah, I think they
they?
did. I'm not sure because on my account I could still see the numbers. So I
I
don't
can
I
still
don't
see
know how
it
they're
too.
right. I think maybe I'm not sure how they're doing it, but that was the thing a few months ago or earlier. I say pre-pandemic. That was the thing about bullying and the numbers, and they were going to hide the numbers. Well, Snapchat is doing a different thing, but it's for creators. Now, what's a creator account? A creator account is someone like DJ Khaled, Gary Vaynerchuk, people that have uh, recognizable brand names, and they've applied for a creator account. So if you and I, we have, we just have regular Snapchat accounts. I don't believe that we can show our follower numbers.
Mm,
But I
mhm.
was trying to look at that, but it's for creator accounts, brands and influencers that have those accounts, and they can, have partnership with ad deals and stuff like that. They can show their follower accounts because as an influencer, they want to show their follower account to say, hey, look how many people I have.
Mhm.
Okay, so
Sort of
that's
like validation.
Mm.
right. So this is the official statement from Snapchat. We've listened to feedback from our creator community, and many of them express interest in having the option to show that their community on Snapchat is growing. So starting today, this was when they put it out. We are giving creators the option to make subscriber counts visible on their public
Oh,
profiles.
options.
Yeah, however, we understand that not every creator wants to have public metrics visible to their fans. Therefore, creators can choose to toggle this metric on and off as needed in their settings. So they are allowed to turn it on and turn it
Now
off
that was
as they want.
smart. That was a master move.
Indeed, indeed. I think that's a great thing. I'm not a big
Mhm.
fan of like subscriber counts or whatever, but I think it's good for somebody who wants to show advertisers because they still, for some reason, are not savvy enough to know that followers does not necessarily equal engagement. I don't get it,
Right,
but they still
right.
look at the
Because
numbers. So
mhm.
go
It
ahead.
seems the numbers seem to be a thing that they can like an instant showing of look how many followers I have. But you're right; it's more about the engagement rate
Mhm.
between the influencer and their followers.
Mm,
Correct.
So
mhm.
that's why we have something, micro influencers are really big, especially on Instagram. Micro influencers that, they have smaller numbers like 2,000 followers or so, but it's a concentrated target audience that whenever they post something, bam, they're there to engage with it. And I don't mean I mean like an actual comment
Mhm.
in a
Mhm.
discussion.
Mhm.
So that's really where influencer marketing really shines is with those smaller groups, but big corporations and brands want the Kardashians with the what do they have 160 million whatever.
Oh,
And
sorry.
like you said, if you and if Instagram they decide to do a sweep of the bots, you'll see all of those numbers go down.
mm-hmm.
So there is a significant portion of those numbers that aren't people. So if they're bots, what can a bot do? Nothing.
Well,
They can't buy.
it did a lot for Ticketmaster over there. Got him a lawsuit in London because the bot exposed everybody's credit cards. And
Yes.
that's a whole other story. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's what's going on with Snapchat. Now, Twitter, we
Mhm.
talked about this a while back. I can't remember how long, but Twitter,
Oh,
remember they want to get.
Before you go, Carlos
Uh-huh.
made a comment about the
Okay.
Snapchat thing.
Okay.
He's saying, Snapchat, what's it say? Is popular because kids shared nudes and it disappears. Parents can't find out. It's a problem. There's a lot of apps that do that. They got a feature in Facebook where you can make your
Yeah, that's what I was
away.
gonna bring. I was gonna bring that up. So, Facebook has in their Messenger,
Mhm.
they have vanish mode on Messenger and Instagram. It lets you send disappearing messages. It's called vanish mode, and it lets you send text, photos, voice messages, emoji, and stickers that disappear immediately once they're viewed by the other party and the chat windows is closed. Now, this is a
Mhm.
one-to-one message, not group messaging. Also, you have to it's opt-in, meaning that you have to agree to enter vanish mode once another user in the chat has enabled it. So I was looking at this in Messenger. So if you want, you go to your Messenger and you pick one of the conversations that you have with somebody and you
Mhm.
just swipe up. So it springs and then it'll go into vanish mode.
Mhm. I remember that because I remember when they snagged that from Snapchat.
That's another thing.
When they zucked that from Snapchat.
Right.
Mhm.
This is another feature. Yes,
Mhm.
this is another feature that they've taken artistic license from Snapchat. So they're saying that it will notify you when a screenshot of a chat is taken while the mode is enabled. So when you're in vanish mode, this is how Snapchat works. If you're in a snap with someone and you take a screenshot, it will notify the other party that you've taken a screenshot. So it's a notification to let somebody know, hey, you're taking a screenshot. It's available now and it will go live on Instagram at a later date. So it's not in Instagram messaging just yet. Right now it's in Facebook Messenger.
Okay, and how do we access that again? We go to one of our
You just
messages.
pick what you can do now. Pick one of the conversations you have with one person, not a group message.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go to that. I was trying it yesterday. So you just pick one of the messages and then you just swipe up. But it's the way you have to do it. Yeah, you have to swipe like real quick. See, I can't do it now. There it is. Yeah,
Okay.
so you gotta do like a sliding, like a hole and a swipe up.
Okay.
Like a spring. You know what? When it springs, you know what I mean? When it jumps.
Mm-hmm.
So now I just did it with one of my clients that she likes to talk to me in Messenger. So when I did it, it says vanish mode is not available for this person.
Yeah.
And I think this is because she doesn't use Messenger, but she uses Messenger in Facebook, if you know what I mean, like in Facebook to desktop.
Yeah.
So she doesn't have Messenger. So I think this is why it's popping up for me like that. So each party has to have Messenger, the app, I believe.
Okay. I'm going to have to play with that one too.
Yeah, so just pick any of them, do any message you have with someone and do like a hold and pop up, like a hold and pop. And it'll spring up and it'll say vanish mode. And then at the top, it'll say you can turn vanish mode off. I tried it yesterday. I can't get it to work for me today, but so there you go. Facebook, what is it? The sincerest form of imitation is the sincerest form of flattery or whatever.
Yes.
So there you go, Facebook. Again, the Death Star.
Zucked again. There you go.
The Death Star. That's what I call them. All right, so speaking of Instagram, Instagram has redesigned its screen once again. I think we talked about this a few weeks ago that they were playing around with the buttons. Like you would see a button at the bottom, they move it to the
I
top.
can't. Life has been so unstable. I just can't do another change. Tell them to stop it. Go ahead.
I can't. Listen, I can't. So what they're doing is adding Reels and Shop tabs to the home
Yes.
screen, and it's the Reel tab will go to Reels, and the Shop tab will show you personalized recommendations, editors' picks, curated by the @Shop channel, shoppable videos, and new product collections. Both tabs make it easier for people to find what they want on the platform and go there immediately. So why are they doing this? So let's talk about that a little bit. So Instagram and Facebook does this. Whatever they want you to focus on, they will put front and center. So if they're putting a Reels tab and a Shop tab front and center, that means they want you to look at Reels directly instead of through an Explorer tab or seeing it on somebody's profile.
Too many steps.
Right, but this is their way of saying this is what we're focusing on.
Mhm.
So you as a creator or a business owner and you use Reels, this means that they are going full steam ahead with trying to promote you like a rising tide that lifts all boats. So they are saying Reels is our focus. Shop is our focus because they got Instagram live shopping. They got all kind of ways for you to shop. So those are the two things that they're focusing on. So you want to take advantage of them. Again, Reels is not the superior product to TikTok. And I see a lot of people doing TikToks and they bring them over. Or you could just, do a video and play around with the Reels. I think it's clunky, but that's the interface, but that's just me. But they are pushing Reels. So that's a way for them to, wait for you to say, okay, if they're pushing Reels, they really want me to use it. They're going to give me an extra boost of, showing it to everyone or putting it through. Right now, with the hashtag situation, if you didn't know, Instagram put a pause on all recent posts within the hashtag. So when you go to a hashtag, you only see the top post. That's because of the election. That they say they're going to change that soon. A lot of people were complaining about that. Oh, why should we use hashtags? Because nobody discovering us through the hashtags because they put a pause in the hashtags. So there's a lot of things confusing going on with Instagram. I say use Reels if you want to use it. If you don't like it, do a Snapchat video or do a TikTok video and you can save it and go over the Reels and upload it. It's your choice. But Instagram is putting a focus on Reels and their shopping feature because that's what they want to promote.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So one more thing. Well, one more before we talk about a new app, and we talked about it on Tuesday. Remember, Turley, and we talked about it. I'm going to bring it up. In a minute. It's been, you might have seen it on Facebook where people are like, I'm leaving Facebook for.
Yes.
All right, but let me bring up this.
Wait, before we
okay.
go there.
I got one more thing before we go to that app.
Okay. Yeah.
So Twitter. So I'm going to say Twitter. Remember, they are starting they're getting into the stories game. So they had their feature called Fleets. And remember, we were talking about the name and it was stupid. So Fleets has now been tested in Japan. They started out with Brazil, India, Italy, and South Korea, but now they're in Japan and they're testing their stories feature in Twitter called Fleets. So you know how stories work. You post a video or a photograph, it disappears after 24 hours, but some apps have a way for you to save them. Now, why is that important about them, showing in Japan? It's Twitter's second largest market after the US. So that's where the most users are using Twitter after the US market. So this means that it's coming close to us. So get ready for Fleets. They haven't changed the name.
Okay. Is that spelled Fleets?
Fleet, yeah, like a fleet, like a ship.
Like
fleet.
the enema?
Like the enema, exactly.
Yes, I would say that, but
it's
you're
like
right.
The enema.
Yes.
I was like, okay,
yes.
I don't like that name. That's
I don't like. Okay. When I brought it up, I think it was a few months ago. We talked about this. I didn't like the name. You guys didn't like. Nobody likes the name, but they're going with it Fleets. So it's going to be their 24-hour stories feature in Twitter.
Alrighty
They tested
then.
in all these other countries, and now it's coming over closer to us because they've done Japan, so we are next.
Okay,
So-
now before you get to that next story,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I want to go through the chat because people have been burning up the
Okay.
chat over here.
Okay.
So, Fred, can you help us with that?
Yeah, I'm going in there. Let's see.
We got to start up here where
Carlos.
right under Carlos with Mark. Let's start with Mark.
Didn't he?
Mark,
Yeah. Mark says, I may be a nobody on Snapchat, but I am a leader in Snapback.
we love Mark.
And then Linda
Mark
Nan
is
says, can't stay. She says, I'm getting sales, business is growing. Just wanted to pop on and say thank you, ladies, for teaching us this old bird. New website also coming. Thank you all for all you do. So, Eric,
that's wonderful.
Yeah,
Team
Linda's
Mary
doing
and-
really great, especially on Twitter. I see a lot of her activity on Twitter. She's doing
Right.
great.
Wow.
Keep it up, Linda. Keep it up.
Kudos.
Keep it up.
Good job, Linda. And so, who else? Facebook has a private chat option, Carlos is saying, but
Yeah.
kids aren't on Facebook.
Exactly.
Private
Right.
chat has to have the app.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
then
He said from
Yolanda says-
Messenger. From Messenger.
Right.
Mhm.
Yolanda says, happy Friday. And she loves the shop tab.
Yes.
And
Can
then
you come up with
this
shop
is
tab,
no
Terry?
full feature on Reels, no music, so TikTok wins.
There you go.
Yes. Yes. They're,
Okay, I want our audience to know that we see their their conversations.
She said, why not?
Yes,
She
your
said,
comment.
instead of stories, why not Tories?
Is that a fleet?
Anything instead of fleets, man.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting once it comes here.
I
Because
wonder
get ready
if
for the
police
Enema
is
Dome.
going to sue them.
Well, they're actually Fleet with no S, but I think that the name is close enough that.
Yes.
But
Very
you know,
close.
when it comes to trademark and things like that, you can kind of have that same name as long as it's not the same industry or same type of thing. So you
Okay.
can have a Sunshine vitamin company and then have a Sunshine t-shirt company, because the likelihood that a member of the public would confuse the two is rare.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's just when it's close enough in terms of type of product or service that there generally tends to be a problem.
Okay. Well, I just see a lot of mess happening. But anyway.
Yeah, I don't like the name. It just reminds you too much of Fleet.
Yeah, we don't like the name. No, I don't know anybody likes it. So I'm just
But they
saying,
didn't
get
poll us.
ready.
But
Right,
they
so
didn't
get
told
ready.
us.
Get ready for the jokes. So there'll be plenty of jokes once it hits Twitter, US Twitter. So it's going to be
Interesting.
pretty interesting. It's going to be
So
really
did you see
interesting.
my fleets the other day? It just doesn't work. It's just not going to work.
But you know what's going to happen? They're going to end up renaming it. Mark my damn words, and it's not going to fly. And they're going to end up renaming it to something else.
Okay. That I can live with that.
Okay, so
Snapchat is the one who started stories.
Mhm.
yes,
Exactly.
Snapchat. Okay, so
You notice they
moving
didn't
on.
call it stories, did they?
Yeah.
All right, so my last thing that I'm going to talk about is this new app called Parler, Parler. There's been some discussion about the spelling of it. It's Parler. How it came on my radar before I saw it on the news was I saw a bunch of people on my Facebook feed going, "I'm leaving fake," and it's all a canned, like a canned response that they copied and paste from wherever they got it from. I'm leaving Facebook because I'm sick and tired of being censored or something along that line. Follow me on this new app called Parler, and here's my username. So what it is Parler is this app that conservatives are using. I'm going to say conservatives. There's some other things that go along with that group, but they are moving over there because they said Facebook is censoring all of their posts. They can't They can't write what they want to write. They can't post what they want to post on Facebook and Twitter. So it's been a whole bunch of I'm leaving Facebook, I'm leaving Twitter, and I'm going to Parler. Now I got a little video I want to pull up from CNBC. I haven't watched it, but it's about Parler. So let me bring
You
that
ever
up.
watched
I haven't. It's CNBC. It's CNBC.
Okay, we
I
trust
don't
them.
have.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with them. The CNBC, I watch them a lot. I just didn't have a chance.
Yeah.
I just discovered this. I think it's a new video from yeah. So Twitter for Conservatives, Parler. So they got a little blurb. They're talking about it on Squawk Box.
Okay.
So can everybody see this? I'm going to play it. See
Yeah,
it?
we good.
Okay. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Sorry.
Did you click the audio?
You can't hear it?
No.
Okay,
when
hold
you
on.
shared it, did you click the?
Yeah,
there's a
I
little
did.
box down there.
I did. Hold on. Let me
Okay,
do it
let's
again.
try it again.
Yeah, I did. I clicked the audio button.
Oh, okay. Well, let's try it again because we couldn't hear it.
Text me the link and let me see if I can put it up, play it from here.
But just how big is it?
There it is.
Really have a chance
All right, let me
to rival
restart it.
parlay, as Joe was Parler or parlay, as Joe was just saying before the commercial break, which positions itself as a free speech alternative to Twitter, has been growing fast. But just how big is it, and does it really have a chance to rival the big social networks? Julia Boorstin's been looking into it, and she joins us now with more on that. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Andrew. Well, in the wake of Twitter and Facebook placing warnings on some of the president's posts, conservative social media app Parler, and I'm going to call it Parler, surged to the top of the Apple and Google app stores in the past week. Sensor Tower estimates that Parler was downloaded over 2 million times across the U.S. App Store and Google Play the week after the election. That's more than 30 times higher than the prior week, with approximately 5.4 million installs total. Now, Parler doesn't release daily user numbers, but its downloads are still a fraction of Twitter's 36 million monetizable daily active users in the U.S. and Facebook's nearly 200 million across the U.S. and Canada. Now, Sensor Tower says it sees no indication that Twitter users are migrating to Parler. Actually, Twitter had a 54% increase in downloads the week after the election from the week prior to the election. Plus, Parler's had some glitches from the influx of users, and it's not entirely free speech. Parler's CEO saying there needs to be some limits after pornographic images were posted on the platform. And what happens on Parler doesn't just stay on Parler. A small-town police chief resigned after posting violent threats on the app. And perhaps most notable, though high-profile conservatives such as Ted Cruz joined Parler months ago, they actually haven't slowed down the amount that they're tweeting.
Wow. Well, Donna says, I downloaded it not knowing what it was. Luckily, I figured it out before it was too late. Okay, Donna, yeah. Parler.
It is. It is. So I haven't, like I said, Donna, I'm glad that you figured it out before it was too late. So Parler is this new app that all the conservative, if you lean conservative, if that's your audience or whatever, or you like to talk about, you follow the former president. I'm gonna call him former president. That was the place for you.
Where's the lie?
Right. I'm trying to be nice.
Well, Carlos said it right here. He said,
yes. I would thank you, Carlos. It is the place if you want to talk. It's the Wild Wild West of conservativeville, where you get to spew QAnon theories. You get to talk about hate speech. You get to talk about KKK. You get to, and they think.
Go ahead. I was going to say, not conservative. We need to talk about the psychos over there, not necessarily conservatives. I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
Well, because you see, the journalist mentioned that Ted Cruz has an account over there, but he's not active. So it's conservatives, it's Tea Party, it's all of that bubbling mix of people, because they feel like Facebook and Twitter are suppressing the conservative voice, or that alternative voice, or whatever you want to call it, where they're talking crazy talk. Like,
okay, but I noticed they're not allowing people to post pornographic images. Isn't that a suppression?
Um, yeah, Carlos said a Parler has been around since 2018. Yeah, it's been around. It's not new. It's just that the conservatives, and I'm going to say conservatives because I don't want to. It's a whole group of them. There's conservatives. It's QAnon. It's Tea Party.
It's people who adhere to these philosophies.
MAGAs, all of that.
Right. You all are so very Christian. Good for you.
It's diplomacy. I learned it at Duquesne.
Right. So, but this is the thing. And Carlos says Trump Party is not Republican Party. That's true. It's Trump Party, Republican Party is not true. But right now they're in a marriage, so I can't separate the two until they decide to separate themselves. So,
this is a good lesson about who you hang with.
Yes, birds of a feather. That's the thing.
Because not everybody that is conservative does all that stuff, but they're getting tainted and stained.
We'll say the extreme. We'll say the extreme side of the conservative party.
The extreme right.
Yes, we'll say those guys.
Okay, because this is I'm like, wow.
So they're doing this because they're mad because they feel like their voices are being suppressed by Facebook and Twitter, that they're not allowed to say what they want to say. Now, Twitter and Facebook has been suppressing messages all through this election because of fake information, fake news, and it can harm people. So that's why they're not letting these messages go through. But this group feel like their voices is being suppressed by the liberal Twitter and the liberal Facebook, when you don't know that because Facebook has been friendly with Trump. So
that's what I was going to say.
But they're angry. Go ahead.
You guys have.
May I say something?
Into prayer. Look, she's like, can I get a word? Okay, go ahead.
The thing is, you all are. It's interesting when we look at how our discourse around, for example, quote, conservative or far right groups, how those of us that are not are always expected to be civil when we discuss them, yet it's not the other way around. It is not the other way around, and it has never been the other way around. Or lately, it's been less the other way around. And those who are conservative or more conservative leaning that are civil have been standing idly by with all this other talk. And that's the problem. So to me, you're just as guilty. You could say it's not you, but it is you because you're not doing anything to prevent it. It is your responsibility, not mine.
You threw the rock, you threw the rock and hit your hand.
I'm sorry. So I think that, and I said this to you on Tuesday, that generally the people who want to be able to say whatever they want, that it is a violation of free speech, are not interested in furthering the cause of the republic, in furthering the cause of good and what is right. They want to be able to spew hate and spew hate without judgment or getting in trouble or getting fired. And so exactly. So my thing is, though, it's really interesting, the cowardice in this case, because what happens when they spew something or people, that stupid small town police chief, he resigned. Witch, stand behind your damn thoughts. Since you're so into it, stand the hell behind it. But no, you resign. That's not what. Yes, witch, that's what you meant. But they all cower back when somebody calls them on it or their livelihood is affected. But no, you should stand in your truth behind everything. And so often they don't. So I think it's terrible and deplorable. And here's the other thing. Private companies. You do not have a right to come into somebody's private home, say whatever the hell you like, eat up all their food, and they get mad when they throw you out. No, it's a private company. It is not the public domain. It is not a public company. Though they deal with the public domain, you don't have the right to do those types of things. So the fact that you're upset because you went to somebody else's house and acted like an orangutan, and now they're like, well, I'm sorry, you can't come here anymore. I don't get. The school has failed all of you, every single one of you. Please go and get your money back. Get your tax dollars back for the time you spent in school, because the educational system has failed you. You don't have the critical thinking skills that God gave to smash flies. So I'm just tired. I'm tired of it. That doesn't make any good sense.
Yeah, they have to be, and Mark said conservatives have remained silent, so they do not get the luxury of separating themselves as one giant
Correct.
bucket. Hashtag sorry, not sorry. And I agree. That's why I said conservative.
Exactly.
It includes all of them. And the ones that say, well, not me, you're standing next to them. So yes, we're gonna lump you in. Now the thing about Parler, these people didn't realize that they have a terms of service when they signed up. So Parler stand for, they're not going to stand for it either. So that's what happened to that Arizona sheriff, that he had to resign because the things he said on Parler, because he thought, oh, free speech, I can say what I want. But you really can't. Free speech is not, I can say what I want. You can say what you want, but you have to take the consequences. The free speech has to do with the government cannot stop. The government cannot suppress your voice. That's what free speech is about. Now, you can say whatever you like, people on Parler, but trust, the FBI is over there. The CIA.
I would hope so.
I hope so. All up and through.
Because
I hope they're sitting in the corner just like this. We see you. I hope
they're there. No, it's not a debate. They're there.
They're
there. They're silently sitting, looking and watching. And this, and you, so you go to Parler, people, and say whatever you like about this, that, and the other. You're gonna kill this. I think I saw somebody said something about they killed somebody on, and they put it on Parler and had pictures.
What?
But they were saying that it looked like a dummy. I didn't look at the pictures. I just heard the story that they were talking about on one of the sites I go with. They posted the link and the pictures. I didn't look at them. But see, that's the kind of thing. It's the Wild Wild West over there, because they feel like, oh, I could really unbuckle my belt and say what I can say now.
You're a deplorable human being. You are a deplorable human being if you have the thought process and the feelings to want to do something like that, dummy or not. If you have the thoughts and the feelings to want to talk about people like that, something is definitely wrong, and you know full well what you're doing. So you're deplorable. Just like was said, the basket full of deplorables.
Yes,
that's what they are.
She was
basket full. That's right. They are baskets of deplorables.
She said that 4 years ago, and they roasted her for it, but she was right. She was correct. So time has this funny way of proving, people right. Basket of deplorables, they are by their actions and what they do. So it's all over Facebook. You'll see. I don't know if you've seen it. I've seen 1-2 people, and I'm like, I didn't know I was following somebody.
I know, it's crazy. You don't know who is friends with you and all of that until I'm like, what? You said what?
Somebody could be posting stuff about gardens and stuff, and all of a sudden I see something about I'm going over to Parler because the conservative voice is being suppressed on Facebook, and I'm going they're packing up their stuff and they're mad. We're taking our toys and we're leaving. I said bye.
Exactly.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. I went to the App Store and I looked it up. I was like, I'm not downloading this thing, because before I download the app, I look at the reviews and I go to most recent. So a bunch of the most recent was like, this is a place for, because these people, the QAnon, to talk about their conspiracy theories, and people are saying anything like they don't care. And I'm like, there's the terms of service. This app, it's got to stay in the good graces of Apple and maybe Google to stay on the store. Also,
so Terry, can I ask you a question? So in your opinion, what do you think is going to become, because here's the thing, I am not for, I think you're useless if you have nothing, you put things out there that are harmful towards people, or I think you're completely useless and probably worthless, but that doesn't mean that I want voices squashed. I think that there does need to be a place for you to be able to air constructive things. That doesn't mean you have to agree. That doesn't mean you have to be liberal. You can have whatever, but I think whatever the discourse is in the public sphere needs to be constructive. So that being said, what do you think is going to be Parler's fate within a few months? Is this going to get old? Do you think it's going to grow? Do you think they're going to have to wrangle in some of these people that are on there?
Now, I had thought about this, and I'm trying to bring up, because remember a few years ago there was an app and we talked about it. Was it Vivo? I forgot the name of it. It was something Russian based. Somebody in Russia had created it, and it was a few years ago, and everybody on Instagram was like, I'm leaving Instagram. I'm going to, it's Vivo or Vivo, something with a V. I can't remember
Right.
the name of it.
They're not over there now, are they?
Right. This is like maybe 2 or 3 years ago. And they were like, this is going to, I'm leaving Instagram because this is going to beat Instagram. Where is it now? I can't remember the name of it. I think I wrote a blog post about it. I was trying to find the name. It's Vivo or something. That's what happens when you have this kind of thing. And like I said, they can go over there. The FBI is waiting. It's a honeypot. A honeypot is like a area, or it's a
trap.
It's a trap, but they use it in the tech world as a place where data is gathered.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
So all of the people who decided I'm gonna run over there, you just opened up your entire life.
Yeah, but you know how it is. You know, you have a pig farm or sheep farm, and or goats or whatever, and they're gathered in a pen. This is what it is. So, like I said, the FBI knows about it. They're over there, honeypot, watching silently, saying this person goes on a list, that person goes on, because they. This is the thing. You let them talk in their little pen, and you let them talk, and you go, and you. This person, they all on the list over there on Parler talking and
so can they post? Are they posting pictures too?
I don't know what they're doing because I haven't been there.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
But I'm assuming it's like a social media app where you post pictures and text and video and stuff. But it's a honeypot for the FBI, the CIA, because this is what they're doing. They're feeling like their voice is suppressed. And I'm like, your voice is not being suppressed. There's a tolerance for things that we're going to allow on Facebook, Twitter. There's a tolerance. There's a societal level of we're not going to be on this point, but you want to go beyond the point. So go over to Parler and say what you want to say. It's being recorded. They're recording your IP address. They're recording this and that.
Oh,
and
wait.
like I said, if
you want
say what?
The stuff that they didn't want happening?
Yes.
Everything's trackable.
Happening that wasn't.
It's not anonymous. They're not anonymously giving they think they're anonymous. Oh, I'm gonna sign up with a fake name. But you sign up with your phone, boo. It can be tracked. I'm going to my computer and I'm going to sign in anonymously. Your IP address is tracked, boo. Okay. So say what you want to say over there. And I'm like, most people are saying, go over to Parler because my Facebook feed is getting back to normal because you crazies are leaving. So let them go over there. But I don't like what they're saying. It's a call that's bubbling, but I'm pretty sure the government is watching over there. NSA, wow. FBI. Not that I think they got enough time to chase everybody down, but they're definitely putting people on a list for further review. Oh, this person said da 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 da. They go on a list. Mention the president, you go on a list.
What they don't realize is that this is a threat to democracy.
And it really
is. There's no I'm like, why? And I still don't get why you are so bothered by and triggered by some other things. And if you ask them, they stammer and stutter.
They don't know.
So they don't know. It's rhetoric. And so when you've been fed rhetoric for a while and you believe it, you do things counterproductive to what society needs. And so it's not only is it un-American, it's anti-democratic. So
see, the FBI, CIA, those guys, they know that things are going on. They're not going to come on and say, we're watching Parler. They're not going to say that. The government's not ever going to say that. But trust, they've been watching things. They're not catching everything. But since 9/11, and we got Homeland Security and this and that, Al-Qaeda, all that, they have to watch places like this for conversations. This Absolutely. Is why how they found a lot of things, especially in New York City a few years ago. I haven't been lately, but this is how they've caught people coming over. It's a word for it. Not nets. Some nest. They watched a little nest of people because of their conversation and activities, and they've caught a lot of terrorist things that were going to happen. I remember something was going to happen in Times Square. One of the street vendors with a cart was going to go to Times Square and blow it up. They caught that because they actively listen to conversations. They know where to go and watch the conversation, and they watch it. until it gets to the point where, okay, this person is actively doing whatever, let's go over and stop it. So they're watching this Parler thing, so let them go over and say what they want to say in that little pen over there. It's like
Mhm.
pushing them to Mars,
Wow.
which is where I want them to go.
Where I'm not going. I'm not
I
listening.
want them to go. So I'm like, bye. You want to go to Parler and spew your hate? Go on. Somebody's
Wow.
listening. No, somebody's listening.
Okay.
So now we need a
Meanwhile, back at
cleansing.
Ranch,
We need a cleansing after that, talking about Parler, because I didn't want to talk about it, but I brought it up because I was like, we have to,
Yeah,
it's
when
something new.
it made the mainstream news, I'm like, oh, that's what she was talking about Tuesday. Okay.
yeah,
Wow.
we had Parler, huh? Okay.
Yeah. I said, well, at least I was informed enough to listen, Terry, as a result of our conversation on Tuesday. I said, let me pay a little closer and lean in here and see what they're talking about.
And
And I
Mark
got-
has
Because I know
Donna has a question. I mean, a comment too. Donna said, a lot of my friends are being banned in Facebook for saying things that are not offensive. Okay. But Facebook, just like TJ just said, Facebook is clamping down on anything that is remotely.
You might, it might see the level of checking for Facebook is higher than normal because of the election. So
You
something
see?
you say might not, it
You
may
see,
not
Mark?
been offensive, but now Facebook has ramped up the level of that's offensive.
Right.
Okay, now, did you see what Mark said to you, girl?
Okay.
Yeah, out of control.
Oh,
Oh my goodness. All right, are we ready for social media?
Donna has one more. Donna
Okay.
has a comment.
Donna says, I also have had posts in my private groups. Posts have been banned.
Really?
Yeah, and yeah, they're going to do that.
Yeah,
Donna says someone was banned for saying blank trash. Yes, they will do that because it's heightened right now.
Yes.
They
Yeah.
are on super.
You know the DEFCON level that we have for the country. Well, Facebook has one, and they ramped it up because, and I put this on my page that my Instagram was removed for violating terms of service. I'm like, well, what did I do? I haven't posted anything in a while. And I was like, okay, I tried somebody on YouTube was saying, oh, try this extension called $80 that reminds you to do comments or something. So I think that Facebook and Instagram, because of the heightened level of security, they put that on a list. And because I put the extension on, it banned my account. But I've got more. I got more Instagrams. I just switched to one of the others. But I was like, okay, that just shows you that the level of things that's going on, it's like, okay, they're looking at every little thing that's going on. So because somebody said that, it may not be offensive, but Facebook has upped the level of, okay, we really got to keep this stuff, push it down or remove it or whatever, these voices, because
well, think about it. They're the ones with the deep pockets. If someone decides to sue, they're not going to sue that individual. They're going to come after them.
Right.
Correct.
Mark said I was a bad girl.
There is a bad girl again.
I'm like, what? So the deal is there's nobody to call or write. I've been trying to do all the things that I saw. And, you're supposed to do this. If you have an ad account, you can talk to your rep and stuff like. So I've been trying everything, but I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna give up and just use one of my other ones and just build that up. It's not a big deal to me. I'm like,
and they are not like human beings sitting by the phone to answer your customer service call, because these platforms are FREE. They are not got people that's going.
Let's start another one. So I see a lot of people panicking, and they were like, "I want my Instagram back. What do I do?" But nobody's. I was like, "Stop panicking. You could have had a new one and started all over." And anyway, they're suppressing the hashtags anyway, so you're not being discovered if you use hashtags right now. So
yeah. I saw that. Okay, well, Dr. Tachi has been so patient with us.
She look like she's like, look, crazy.
No, I'm good. I'm good. Are you
What-
ready?
Yes, we are ready. Are we ready, TJ?
TJ got it all in. Okay, TJ took us down a rabbit trail today.
I'm done.
Oh, I think Parler was significant. Okay,
Yeah,
go.
well, so you make a conscious decision whether or not you're gonna be on there just because
Mhm.
whatever.
Now that you've been informed, you can make a decision. Okay, Doc, what's up?
So again, not to get into politics, but I do need to mention this. If you don't know, the person at 1600, his campaign had a libel suit against CNN. And a Georgia federal court actually rejected a defamation lawsuit that he brought against CNN. So
I did not know that.
yes. I think Mr.
There's so
1600
many
is the
suits.
lawsuit.
I didn't know about this one.
Yes, he has several suits,
Yeah.
including the ill-fitting ones he wears. He's got several suits.
So,
No offense. His campaign filed a complaint back in March, and it targeted an opinion piece by Larry Noble, who was a former general counsel at the Federal Election Commission, and he took the position that Special Counsel Robert Mueller should have charged 1600 with campaign officials with, quote, soliciting dirt on his opponents. So the lawsuit made mention of this specific line. Now, for those of you who, why do I know so much about law? Because I used to teach media law quite a bit. Not a lawyer at all, but I taught media law. So you probably know that when it comes to libel or defamation, the burden of proof lies on the prosecution, on the people bringing it. So basically, the defense just has to sit there and be like, what? Okay, so you have to prove that this was harmful to you in some sort of way, and that wasn't proven. And so the judge wrote this in his decision. Is it a him or a her? It's a him. Judge Michael L. Brown, who, ironically, was appointed to the federal judiciary by the person in the White House himself. He said, most of the allegations in the complaint regarding actual malice are conclusory. Also that, for example, with respect to how Noble once tweeted that he cheats and lies, Brown writes, the tweet might show Mr. Noble's ill will towards the president, but it fails to plead actual malice in the constitutional sense. That is, it does not show that Mr. Noble made the statement with knowledge that it was false or reckless, or with reckless disregard of whether it was false. So that's what you need to prove malice. In libel and defamation lawsuits, you're trying to prove ill intent, malice. So that wasn't shown there, and so dismissed. Let's move on.
I have a question. So all
Yeah.
of the other people who have written tweets about this person, how come they? But he picked out this one person to
See,
sue.
it's up CNN because it's CNN, and remember, he has a bone
because
to
they
pick
got
with CNN, right? So,
right, they have
so the thing is, he could have. So I'm of the belief that it's this, but it's specifically because it was done for CNN. This was an opinion piece for CNN. Now, had it been a New York Times or something else, would he have had a problem with it? Probably, but because he's had bones to pick with CNN from the very beginning, I think that's a large part of why this suit. It was a suit to prove something as well, you know. So, in any case, that's what's happening there, but that's been dismissed.
It was a waste
So,
of time.
well, you know, we like to
It
do
was
that.
harder for Parler. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's going to be talked about over there as it is
Yes,
on
you know,
many
the
platforms.
liberal media thing. Go ahead.
Right. Well, which, you know, the thing is, I hate when people say that because I'm not saying all media is great, not at all. But when you talk about the big ones, they're trying to report the facts. Unless you're watching an opinion news show, I'm telling you what's happening. So how am I being against you if I'm telling you exactly what, but I'm like, but this is what you said. So now somehow I'm against you. And so I think that works. That kind of fear mongering works when you don't have members of an audience who are savvy enough to do research on their own, or who are too lazy to do research
Right.
on their own.
Right.
So, it's unfortunate. Let's talk YouTube, shall we? YouTube is canceling Rewind this year because 2020 is just too damn much. So they usually do, if you remember, YouTube usually does a tribute to creators on YouTube at the end, and it talks about the trends and different moments and creators. That's not happening this year. They issued a statement acknowledging that 2020 has been different, you think? Adding that it doesn't feel right to carry on as if it were not. So this marks the first time that Rewind won't happen since YouTube started the annual celebration in 2010. So 10 years ago they started, and this is the first year since.
So sad.
Yeah. So the thing is, though, in the creator community, Rewind is kind of like a joke to the creator community. It's become the most, quote, disliked. It was the most disliked video of all time in 2018. But it's still a staple of YouTube's culture, even if people are using it to dunk on their own videos. So even the CEO, Susan Wojcicki, said that it's a little cringeworthy, but it is what it is. It's part of it. But the bigger story is that it's not happening because so much started happening this year. Started with the flood of my house in January. That was the beginning of this whole thing, I think. But nobody cares. So let's go on.
Help us, Father.
So let's talk about what's happening in terms of another year-end thing that's happening. Amazon is doing a year-end comedy special, and you've got people like Sarah Silverman, Tiffany Haddish. Yeah, they are joining this. It is actually going to be interesting. Natasha Rothwell, you'll know her from Insecure fame. She's actually seriously funny. That's why she's such a good writer. So it's an all-star roster of female comedians to say goodbye to 2020, or get the hell on 2020, basically. So they've got and what better way to do it with the Tiffany Haddish, Sarah Silverman, Natasha Rothwell, and more. It's going to be hosted by Phoebe Robinson and executive produced by Rachel Brosnahan, who does The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. So this is going to be pretty good. It's going to be set to premiere on December 30th on Amazon. So if you have Amazon, check it out. Amazon Prime Video, check it out. I think I am, because I have it. It's the one thing I have. Yeah. So let's talk more about what's happening. Spin-off Black Lightning. If you guys are superhero or comic fans, I love superhero things. I'm a big Marvel girl. I am not a huge DC person, but I do like Black Lightning. So Black Lightning is a DC Comics property, it's not just DC Comics now, but DC property. And there is a spin-off in the works at the CW. So Jordan Calloway is going to reprise his role as Painkiller, which is going to air in an upcoming episode of season 4. Okay. So if you are Black Lightning fans, know that there's a spinoff coming up called Painkiller. So this is a character in the CW universe, not CW, in the Black Lightning universe, getting his own spinoff. Salima Keel, if you know Mara Brockakeel and Salima Keel, the producing team, he developed Black Lightning. He's going to write the script and executive produce the pilot. So I guess all the allegations against him before didn't really stick, but it is what it is.
Well, Carlos says he loves Black Lightning.
Okay.
And that he actually Ubered some of the cast around.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Wow. Yeah, no, Black Lightning is great stuff. I'm all for, because I love superhero universes, but I think that, everybody needs to see themselves reflected in fandom and
Mhm.
superhero-dom, and
Yeah.
it's not diverse enough. It's trying to get there, but it's only after we said something. So they weren't going to do it on their own. So I am really a fan of looking. That's why, I was so disappointed when Luke Cage was canceled. I was like, huh? Luke, no, not Luke Cage. But I know it was the whole thing because of Netflix and Marvel/Disney snatching all of their stuff off of Netflix. So Jessica
Right.
Jones is gone. What was it called? The Defenders. All of those Marvel things went away. But I was a huge fan. So anyway, that is what's happening. Painkiller is going to be a spinoff. I have just a couple of other things. Let's talk Disney. Speaking of Marvel and Disney, their theme parks have taken a $6.9 billion hit amid the closures of 2020 because of coronavirus, obviously. They reported this just yesterday. Because of parks being either shuttered completely or operating at a greatly reduced rate. I told you here at Disney, they were offering like tickets 2 for $49. I said, I have never heard of that in life. That is so
Exactly.
cheap. That is so cheap. That's why I'm like, it's like, I don't even know what it is for regular people, but I told you that you could do like a season pass, and I think it's something like $89.99 for the entire season, but they bank on you not coming there because who goes to Disney like more than once a season? Unless you happen to live like in Orlando or nearby.
Right.
Disney is 3 hours from me, so I can see you buy it and then you use it once, if at all. And then that $90 is gone. So I don't even know what it costs if you're not a Florida resident to do all those things. But I'm sure it's quite high. I'm sure you're spending, because it's probably like $150 something a ticket. If I'm going off of Disneyland prices, I'm sure it's like $150 a ticket. Oh God, I can't even know.
Wow.
If I'm going off of Disneyland prices, it's serious stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Yeah, because Disney here, I don't know if they pared down, but we're heading back into purple here. So everything Disney ain't gonna be open up from here.
Not in Southern California.
Nope.
You guys are at a stalemate according to the article. So I know here there's we're open at reduced capacity, but it seems that because so they said downtown Disney is currently open and a portion of California Adventure will reopen later this month for shopping and outdoor dining. So for things like that, I think
Let's see what Gavin Newsom has to say.
Yeah, the shutdown starts Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh.
So maybe when they wrote the article, it was still open.
Newsom is not playing that, huh? So
no, stay tuned.
Right, things change at a drop of a dime.
It really does.
Right.
So, yeah. So that's what's happening. We'll see that, and then the last thing is still Disney. And even though they've taken a hit in terms of a theme park, Disney Plus has topped 73 million subscribers.
Wow.
Yeah, 73.7 million subscribers in the first 11 months so far, far exceeding the company's expectations.
Well, what do you do when somebody's on lockdown and they are 6 years old talking about they want to see Frozen? You subscribe.
Sign up for Disney Plus.
What do I do, or what do other people do? What I do is go get some sheets. We'll make you a costume, and we'll do Frozen the play. That's what I do. But I don't know about the rest of it.
People just want peace in the valley after being on there with the teacher, their job.
Yeah, boy.
Like, what do I have to do to make it
peace in the valley is run around outside and come back when you're tired and go to sleep. That's peace in the valley.
Well, I don't know if you're allowed to really run around in this environment.
No, in your backyard, you can still go outside in your backyard, right?
If you got one, it's California.
If you have one,
it's expensive to have a backyard here. But go ahead.
But this is pretty good because we were wondering, okay, is Disney gonna make it? But apparently
they made it.
And
they did. They are not pulling a Quibi.
Yeah, they are not a Quibi.
No Quibi.
But the thing is, they it's because of the partnerships with like Marvel. It's the partnerships, of course. Fox is a part of that whole thing. Certain aspects of Fox, so they've got
Geographic. Mm-hmm.
yeah, exactly. National Geographic. They've got a lot of things in there, a lot of properties in there. On top of it, they have this huge library. Library, because remember, Disney also includes ABC. So it's not just cartoons. It's not just The Little Mermaid and things like that. You've got a huge amount of programming that falls under that. So that's the difference between a Quibi and a Disney.
I didn't know they owned ABC. I wasn't.
Yeah.
That's
It's for quite a long time now.
Right, and they own ESPN.
Yeah.
And so they have all of these things, and for $12 a month, $12.99, you can get all three: Hulu, Disney, and ESPN. So the sports person in the house is happy, the kids are happy, and you might be able to watch The Mandalorian season 2 or something.
Yeah.
Listen, that's a small price to pay for peace in the valley.
I know, I understand. I would pay it too. I get it. Don't listen to me. What kids do I have running around here? I'm just saying what I would do. But my thoughts are irrelevant since I don't know.
Yeah, ABC 20th, ESPN 20th Century Fox, they own all of those.
Yes.
So they got a whole library of stuff. They can keep putting movies out, and you will never get bored watching it.
Absolutely. And so this is why they've been able to do so well, because they've got such a huge library of things and such a huge amount of, again, The Mandalorian season 2 is a huge deal. The fact that it was dropping. I absolutely adored The Mandalorian season 1. So, so we'll see what happens. But even though their theme parks are down, subscriptions of Disney Plus are up. Hopefully they'll be able to level out something somehow and come out of this.
And this is pretty good. This is a lesson in don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Yes. Yes. You can hate on Disney if you like, but you can't hate on their diversification.
They're diversified.
You can hate the player, but don't hate the game. Is that
Exactly
how they go? Because they played that game well.
They played it well. Touche. There's nothing I could say. Good for you. Good for you. So hopefully, I think this is a good, like you said, a good lesson for people to learn. All right. Yeah. Start with what you have. But the moment you start to get the hang of that, where else can we put these eggs in? What other baskets can we distribute our eggs in? Because if a dinosaur comes and crushes all the eggs, that's it. I don't know why I came up with that, but let's pretend that is real. It comes and crushes all the eggs in your basket. You have no eggs. But if you spread them out, at least you have eggs in baskets A, B, C, and D.
Right.
Okay. I like that analogy. Well,
So that's it. That's what I have.
Oh, can I mention
yeah.
mention one thing about Netflix? If you're a fan of The Crown, the new season starts on the 15th.
Oh, yeah. The Crown is really good. I watched the first season, and I haven't had a chance to pick up subsequent to that, but yeah, I may need to.
And just be aware, watch your bill, because Netflix is increasing.
Yes.
It's increasing.
Going up.
I was like, what? Whoa. I need to go and check my subscription.
It's
Like, I
going
don't
up.
know if I want to pay you that.
You have one more time, Netflix. You have been forewarned. So.
I feel like they're taking advantage of us because they know we're on lockdown.
It's clear advantage.
Yeah.
Over here, where I can go over there, and I may not get all my little Netflix shows, but I can still go to Disney, and I got alternatives. And with T-Mobile Vision, with T-Vision coming, I got another
There you go.
choice.
History will not be kind to people who gouged us during the pandemic.
Exactly.
We will remember.
YouTube TV. I was like,
We'll see you.
well, we will see you all next week. This was a really good conversation. Carlos and Donna and Mark and Ariana. Dr. Tachi Ariana, Southern Sweets over here, she'd like to connect with you. So if,
Oh,
yeah.
with
she
me?
put her email over there. Yeah, you.
Oh,
She said, I would
okay.
like to talk to Dr. Tachi. Dr. T, can I have her contact information? That's Ariana. So,
Oh, okay.
and everybody else who was in here watching live on the, we want to say
We have Linda and Maureen
Yeah.
and Yolanda and
This has
Mark.
been a really good conversation.
You know, we just love you guys. Thank you for tuning in today.
Thank you for watching and joining in
Right.
conversation.
So we'll be back on Monday. And then
Mhm.
Dr. Tachi has her program on TJ has her program on Tuesday. Dr. Tachi has her program on Wednesday. Mediascope, TJ is social media and digital marketing. And then we'll be coming back around. We are going to be here. All right. So we will talk to everybody. And Ariana says, thank you so much for your education, for the education.
You're welcome.
And Donna, we just want to say we pray a blessing on travel in the future.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
That you will benefit from the upcoming holidays.
Definitely.
With that, we want you to remember that this weekend, tomorrow is a women's conference. We're going to put the the link in the chat. We want to invite you to come on over to
the Virtue from Above. You got it?
I don't have it at my fingertips, but we will put it in the chat. It's going to be Saturday morning. We think you'll enjoy it, and registration is free. So
and I can play with my new tech tools that I figured out for it.
Thank you so much.
Very cool.
Yes. So she'll be streaming, and we want to invite you to that. So until then, remember to go to the front of your own line. Thank you, Dr. Tachi. Thank you.
Thank you.
TJ. And remember to watch Dr. Tachi's show. Right?
Yes.
You mentioned Mediascope on Wednesdays. And look for her. You can Google her and find her show. And remember, you can find TJ anywhere online. She is your social media guru. And we thank you for your time. Have a great day. Remember, go to the front of your own line. Bye-bye.